Okay, we're recording today at Brian's, August 1st. So Brian, take it away.
All right. Can you see me?
I can see you now.
Can you see Heidi?
And where's Heidi?
Right
Heidi,
there.
stand up taller.
Heidi up. Dance.
There we go. Okay.
This is my humble little garden here I started 2 years ago and made changes over the last year. And here's a straw bale garden that I started, and I got birdhouse gourds. I forget what they call these flowers. I think they're cypress vine. I'm not quite sure. I've got sweet 100 cherry tomatoes growing in here. I have sweet potatoes, flowers of course, beans, what do you call it? Basil. So this is the archway to the garden. Front face of the garden, I have this large tomato bed here, starting out with Paul's demand. I always have cherries on this, and I got cherries. Those are large cherries, large cherry tomatoes. They're not as sweet as the sweet 100s, but they're pretty good. I got some asters there, and my wildflowers are pretty wild. And as we go through the garden here, Heidi, come look. My main tomato bed. Start out with triple crops. These are money makers and mortgage lifters, and then interspersed I have basil, flowers, onions, strawberries. Up this pole here are Scarlet runner beans.
And Brian, what tomatoes are these here?
I'll repeat. These are triple crop. These are Wisconsin 55s. Then I end up with another mortgage lifter. And through here are all San Marzanos. I have 6 San Marzanos.
And I see you've got some green beans up the top here.
Yeah, we have, these are Kentucky blue pole beans. And they were strangling my mortgage lifter, so I took them off.
Okay. And what's this beautiful little blue plant here?
Well, this is my favorite flower, is the borage. It really attracts the bumblebees, pollinators. They pollinate all my garden. As you can see, they don't care. Well, now there's none here, but usually there's quite a few different pollinators.
Okay, what's in the corner over here at the end of this row?
All right, we have Comfrey. This one flowered, that one there didn't. This is what I use to make my Comfrey tea for my tomatoes and the other beds. And that, the Comfrey takes a lot of nutrient deep in the soil with their deep roots, and they bring that into their leaves, and it makes a beautiful fertilizer tea for the beds. Then I have a new bed I planted this year of asparagus. Everything but one came up, so they're doing fine and dandy. This is my second year of my ever-bearing raspberries. I already picked most of this spring crop, and now we got a nice crop coming up. They're covered because of the Japanese beetles would have raped it, so far so good. Every once in a while I have to let a bird out, but not very often. These are alpacas. These are another, this is another paste tomato. They're doing, I almost threw them away because they were hard to grow from seed, but they're one of my most prolific plants, so never give up, I guess. Got peppers here. I got Keystone, and these are banana peppers and strawberries intermixed.
Got a little basil tucked in here.
dill, all for the pollinators. More basil, more marigolds, more strawberries. I'm propagating, I have 8 or 9 plants propagated with strawberries off the runners.
Some more alpacas. And they are huge. Okay, and here's our little, at one end of this box, what kind of onions have we got in here?
There's a candy white onion, and then I forget the name of the red onion, but they've been harvested quite a bit. And they're still growing good. I got some nice ones in here. And I just let the borage plant itself, so. And here's another one coming up.
Borage. And then the rest of this box is all potatoes?
These are 4 different varieties of potatoes. Don't ask me their names, but there's white, red, yellow, and something else. So, but they're doing all right.
Okay.
So far, so good.
And what do we have over here behind you?
Well, this is another, this was a straw bale. I have sweet potatoes and some carrots and basil, and these are Wisconsin 55s. And if you can see the difference between these fruit and the ones that were back there, there's no comparison. My beds are much more nutritious than the straw bales. I stuck a couple potatoes in here for shits and giggles. We got these Colorado potato beetles, but I killed them off most of the year, but we have 3 generations this year. And I just gave up on the last one because the potatoes are almost done. So, and
Yeah,
back there is my worm farm, responsible for about 6 gallons of worm castings this spring, and headed the same way this summer. Feed the birds.
Okay. You see you've got a few sunflowers popping
Those
up
are
here.
volunteers from the bird feeder. I just let them grow. And they're doing fine and dandy. I had to tie them up because they were falling over. So they're fine and dandy. This is my failed celery. Last year, this is all celery. I had stalks up this high. I had 30 some odd plants. And I made the mistake of planting broccoli in front. It shaded them too much. They didn't do too good. I pulled all this broccoli because it all bolted really early due to the heat. Now I use it for worm food. That's the way it goes. Worms like it. This was to keep sump pump water, but we haven't any water to sump pump, so heck with that. Over here I got same thing, onions there and carrots. Carrots are doing really well. Well, that one's kind of shitty looking. Yeah, I got nice carrots. I forget the variety, but they're good.
Okay, and behind you here, these barrels.
This is my chemistry for my dirt. I have leaf mold. I have a new pile of compost starting there. And over here I have a finished pile of compost full of earthworms and ready to go on someone's garden. Really good stuff. It still heats up to about 80 degrees, so it's still kind of breaking down, but it's fine.
Okay.
This was another volunteer sunflower that fell over. I just let it grow. So the birds will enjoy it.
And what have we here?
And we have another straw bale garden. I have vertical zucchini, and they're doing just fine. We had some squash bugs I had to kill.
Yep. There's the straw bales that he started from.
Yeah.
And there's one across the middle for that zucchini. And then here's a couple of straw bales to make the end.
And I got peppers intermingled in here, and these beautiful flowers here. Same I had out front, but these really did well because they weren't blocked by the other plants growing out there. Yeah. So they're doing fine and dandy.
These are interesting materials you have here for this arch. So what's all in there?
Well, we got PVC pipe, had to goof it up twice before I realized that I can't cut it for the arch, so I had to put a union in here to make the arch complete, but it worked. And then I just got some 7-pound twine and made a trellis with it. It's just something different. It worked. Next year I'll be making this a full bed, raised bed, same thing up front. The straw bales they're kind of a novelty, but one of the problems with them is this here. Blossom end rot. Let's see who had it. Oh. I know some of them did, but blossom end rot's a real issue because there's not enough calcium. Now I have to feed them twice a week, keep the blossom end rot down. So that's why I'm just gonna go. I'll make these beds next year. Then I have beans growing. A lot of sweet potatoes. They're doing fine. I have more comfrey here. Some mint. More comfrey and borage here. That's for my nutrition for my plants. Volunteer tomatoes. We'll see what grows.
And here's the arch from the east end.
Yeah. Yeah, and these are potato vines, sweet potato vines. Got a lot of sweet potatoes coming. So. And this is my big box bed. I had lettuce and spinach all winter last year because of this bed. I covered it with insulation and plastic. I had lettuce up until May. Now I'm just waiting to plant some more spinach, lettuce, and maybe some carrots in there. Been too hot. These are all bush beans, and I got another pepper here. Looks like a banana pepper. And with the beans, I have some more sweet potatoes growing, some carrots. And this is our flower garden. All the stuff I planted from seed, except for the hanging baskets. And these bushes here we purchased, of course, 2 years ago. I started these asters from seed. That basket there on the shelf there, those are all I created from seed. So we're doing good.
Okay, and what do we have here behind you?
This is a plant I don't know the name of. Let it flowers in the spring, and I got roses and another hanging basket back there. This is a nice quiet space. Got angels all over.
Yeah, it sure is beautiful out here. We've had many a glass of beer and a great meals out here on this little patio, little concrete patio deck. Very wonderful.
We got a little fountain here. And just that little trickling noise of the water is very comfortable.
Okay, anything else you needed to show us, Brian?
That's about it. Oh, well.
All right.
Well, here, quick. I can come. Yep, I'll bring you in one bed. This mortgage lifter, tomato plant, I had it in the straw bales, and I was weaving it in the string, and I broke the top off it, and I couldn't throw it out, so I just stuck it in here, and it started growing, and now she's growing really fine. She's doing really good. Yeah. Never give up on a plant.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. This is recorded on Sunday, August 1st of 2021.